All right, man. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing, man? What's up, y'all? We back. We got a lot to talk about, man. Shit just keep happening. I can't even like. Shit just keep happening. Oh my god. Pookie, give me a kid, bro. You killing me, Jayson. The Raptor gaming scammer is coming on right now. Fuck the whole shit up. This may be the last time I see this unit. You ain't lying. But welcome back to another episode, man, of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening in the NBA right now. A lot of moving parts. Like, it's funny because, you know, once the trade deadline comes, once one happens, it just kind of starts going. It just start happening, bro. Once the trades start happening, it just start going, bro. What you mean last time? He was talking about that's the last time he's gonna see the Raptors in that the Raptors in that state. That's the last time he's gonna see them like that. And in that with that team together, because somebody getting traded. I don't know if y'all know, more people about to get traded. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but more people about to get traded. But man, let me see. We got a lot to talk about. How about this? Matter of fact, let's hit a refresh. Let's hit a refresh on this guy Shams's on his Instagram, because you know that's where news now. Fuki, why don't you answer my Discord calls? How would I answer it if I'm not on? It's crazy. Oh, actually, by the way, as well too, I wanted to say this very, very quickly. We are making a little bit of a shift on this channel. We are making a little bit of a shift. We are gonna keep doing lives. We're gonna keep doing live streams, but we will only be doing them on Fridays. You know, I think I just need to shift the direction of this channel a little bit to gain more traction and to gain more, you know, just to hit better numbers. So, starting really honestly Friday, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing more chilled, more laid back, Friday live streams where we're going to be kicking it. Honestly, in terms of actual time of the week, might be roughly the same, except it'll just be one live. We'll probably we'll do like an hour to 2 hours on Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, is what I'm looking at right now. So I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. The whole week can happen. We could just kick back, just talk shit about everything going on in the NBA going into the weekend. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. We're not going to stop the lives. We're still going to continue them. And honestly, by the time the playoffs come around, I'm planning on doing watch parties again. So, you know, we can kick back and watch some really, really big games together during the playoffs. So that should be a lot of fun. But I just wanted to give y'all a heads up. That, you know, we will be doing lives only on Fridays, but I think I'm gonna like it. I think the chilled vibes, the night vibes, I like the vibes. So that's what we're gonna be doing starting this Friday and moving onwards, and you know, we'll move on from there, man. But thank you guys as always for supporting, watching, hanging out, you know, having these conversations. I appreciate y'all, man. What's good, fam? What's good, Eli? As long as it's not Fall Fridays, what does that even mean? You're derpy on one today. You swap roles with Elijah. All right, man. So let's get into it real quick. Before we get into these trades, honestly, I'm just kind of buying a little time. Hopefully, another trade goes down. But Iman Shumpert had a very interesting take on SGA and Lamelo Ball. So let's listen to this right here, man.
They got to try a bunch of stuff. They got to do a bunch of stuff. They got rules they got to do. I'm just saying, when you talk about this team and they're going at their best, if they went to the playoffs and figured out a little bit of discipline, I don't see the difference in how Lamelo Ball plays and how SGA plays, besides some discipline and saying, this the shot I want here, this the shot I want here. I'm not going to take a chance here. I'm not going to take a chance here. When you're talking about gifted, talent-wise, LaMelo's also 6'6", 6'7". I wouldn't want to deal with that. Well, not with confidence.
I see.
It's dangerous.
No,
I'm not saying.
I see where you're going.
It's the same thing they did. Like T-Mac just said, Anthony Edwards and SGA. The difference is the winning, the discipline, the IQ.
You talking about size and getting to his spots.
I'm saying, like, he's got all the physical gifts that SGA has. So that's all you need when you start talking about playoff basketball.
I've only said that I
So Iman Shumpert, and honestly, I typically like Iman Shumpert's takes. I think his commentary on the game is great. I think he has a lot of very good and valid takes and just some interesting perspective. He has some interesting perspectives on the game itself. So, what do you guys think? Is Lamelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets, according to Iman Shumpert, a little bit of discipline away from being Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder? And he referenced also Anthony Edwards is not that far off from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And what's good, RC? What's good? What's good? I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is Lamelo Ball not that far off from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Is Anthony Edwards not that far off from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander outside of a little bit of discipline, as Iman Shumpert said? And this is my honest take. This is my honest take. Anthony Edwards to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I personally think those two guys, skill for skill, talent for talent, are close. Right? The way Anthony Edwards has grown his game, he has the three ball, he's learning the mid post, he's handling these double teams. He's done a phenomenal job this year. More efficient, scoring more, leading this team. Is he Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? No, because then that would be taking away from what Shai has done in the last 3 seasons, which is, especially the last 2, a lot of people thought he should have won the MVP the year prior, won it last season, and now is having another MVP season, right? So to say that they're not that far off from a person who's been in the MVP conversation for 3 years straight, has averaged over 30 points on 50% shooting on 4 years straight. I think Anthony Edwards is about to hit that mode. But when we're talking about Lamelo Ball, yes, Lamelo Ball has all the talent. I think Lamelo Ball is uber talented, right? He's got a lot of skill and he's got a lot of talent. And he has discipline issues when it comes to shot selection, on defense, all of those things. And his numbers at times can look like some of the best players in our game. The reality is, when it's discipline, when it's IQ, the difference between one player, when you say from this player to get to from here to here, they need better discipline and more IQ. Those two players are an ocean apart. It sounds really simple, right? It sounds really simple. Hey, don't take that shot that you like to take. Don't take that one-footed fading away three-point shot that you like to take. The reality is it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of training to get some of those things out. They don't just happen. And I think Iman Shumpert is someone that knows that, and he omits that part of the conversation with that take, right? Because does Lamelo Ball have the potential to become one of those really, really great players because of the talent, the skill, and his physical gifts? Yes. But the land between being a disciplined, high IQ player from a player that lacks discipline and has lower IQ, that's an ocean apart. And I think in that take, Iman Shumpert minimizes that aspect of it, especially compared to someone that really hasn't been in the playoffs, hasn't really accomplished anything in this league yet. Not to mention that SGA has a championship team around him. Anthony Edwards is closer than LaMelo, and great and accomplished scoring supporting cast matters 100%. I think Anthony Edwards, the difference with Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, is he's shown his game is growing, kind of like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has, right? We've seen the growth of his game. We saw him get better and refine the things that he already did well. LaMelo Ball plays the same way that he played when he entered the league. And so, again, you making that statement, and Lou Williams is there saying, I'm kind of following what you're saying, but they, again, omitted the important part of the convo where it sounds small. Oh, it's just a little bit of discipline. It's just a little bit of IQ. But those are worlds apart, right? A lot of hours and time goes into making that small change. And again, I think that's what they're omitting. Anthony Edwards took away the step in his free throw. Let me see if I can pull that up actually. But I don't think you, to be able to do something like that, takes a lot of time and attention, right? Like you are super attentive to the details for you to change a habit of yours, like a free throw, and that step. Let me see. Oh, let's see. Trying to find it right now. Here's the video. Let's pull this up.
Watch Anthony Edwards when he takes a free throw shot. Watch when he shoots his free throws. Every single time he steps over the line. Every time. Sorry, Ant, you're great. I love your game. You're a great player, right? But every single time, stay behind the line. Watch Anthony Edwards when he takes a free throw shot.
So that was Mark Cuban, that was Mark Cuban saying that, calling him out on that specific thing. And here, let's do this. What the fuck? And look at how he's adjusted this. No step. Right? From having the step in that free throw.
Watch when he shoots his free throws.
step to taking that step out, right? And even he said, it's something he had to change. It's a habit that he had, but he also added for as much time that he spends in the gym, he should be able to get that out. He being Anthony Edwards in that scenario made it sound simple and easy, but again, shows it takes a lot of time and effort, and I don't know if LaMelo's there yet. It's up to Charlotte to send LaMelo to the playoffs, right, for experience, but also he can't stay as healthy as they have been, Jay. Oh, 100%, 100%. Health is also a big factor in it. But again, I still think that there's a world apart between him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at this point. As good as I think LaMelo Ball can be, we just got to see. We just got to see right now. We just got to see. You know what? Let's run through these games real quick, and then we'll hop into these, and then we'll hop into all of these. Or do y'all want to do the trade talks? Y'all want to do the trade talks, or you want to go get into these games? What y'all trying to get into right now? You guys want to do trade talks, or you guys want to do the games? Wait, was it really? I didn't see that. Was it really? Let me see. Oh shit, that was when he was wearing the number 5. Bro, I promise you he fixed that shit, bro. Oh, here, I'll pull up the video. Here you go. What the fuck did I just do, bro? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I found it.
And also spoke about Jaylen
I
Brown
found it.
calling him too small.
Yeah, did you get rid of the step on your free throw?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there any reason for that, or?
Yeah, some famous guy
Some famous
went
guy.
on Instagram or went on a podcast and was talking about my free throws. And he brought it to the attention of everybody, so I had to change it.
Were they gonna start calling it on you, like a lane?
Yeah,
violation, or-
so now it's like the rest be like, you can't step over the line, so I had to change my whole,
change your whole thing.
I think it was the dude who used to be the owner of the Mavs.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
The dude who
Is that
used
why-
to be the owner of the Mavs is crazy.
I mean, free throws
That's
have
why
been
I
a little up
changed
and
it,
down. For
I'm
you
trying
this
to
year,
get
are you
used
try-
to,
yeah.
my new free throws. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's no excuse. I got to make them. But yeah, that's the reason it's been like I don't know if it's going in or not because I got to get used to not stepping over the line.
Right. Yeah.
How hard is it to do that? Like
Change in the middle. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's hard, but like as much as I be in the gym, it shouldn't be that hard. So like I try to shoot like 200 free throws a day. Like I'm gonna come here tomorrow and shoot a bunch of them. So I got to get comfortable with it.
So, just again, I've given Anthony Edwards a lot of credit. I feel like his IQ has grown a lot. Again, worlds apart. Trade talk, let's do that. I bet, let's do that. Pumped to hear your thoughts on trade market. Let's do that, man. Let's do that. We got a lot. Let's start from the top. Let me hit a refresh just to see if we got any new breaking news. Listen, man, I keep hitting a refresh on this new page, hoping Giannis get traded. Not even to the Knicks necessarily, just anywhere. It's such a funny time of the season, man. It's such a funny time of the season. All right. So the thing that really started this off, if I'm not mistaken, was the DeAndre Hunter to the Sacramento Kings for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, which will become very important in just 1 second, right? Especially after the deal that they made today, this kind of makes a lot more sense as to what Cleveland is trying to do. I think DeAndre Hunter he's a good player. He's a solid player. And I think it's, again, adding to this rebuild that the Kings are doing. I think Sabonis might be out of there pretty soon. I think DeMar's going to be out of there pretty soon. I think they're going to blow that entire team up. And so Schroeder, who's been on a million different teams at this point in the last 2 years, yes, you had 10 teams that wanted to get rid of you, but there's also 11 teams that wanted you in that process. And I think in Cleveland right now, he's in a good spot. I think he can really inject some good energy in that team. I'll be honest, any team Dennis Schroeder has been on, he has been a net positive. And I think that's something that they're really missing this year. Cleveland is, they had a really good punch off the bench last season. They're kind of missing that right now. So big, a big trade. They also create $50 million in salary tax savings this season, which we'll see why in a second. While the Kings, along with their players that they got, they're given some roster flexibility, and now they can convert two-way Dylan Cardwell to a standard deal. We're not even going to get into that. And fittingly so, right? The next big domino right after that deal is all of a sudden James Harden is trying to work out a deal. And that was followed up very soon after by, well, I guess that happened a little bit later, but that was followed up by the move to trade James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? So now James Harden is going to be paired with Donovan Mitchell. They have Dennis Schroeder off the bench, Keon Ellis. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I like this for Cleveland. I like this for Cleveland. According to Shams, they're aware that they essentially have a 2-year window with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden to try and go and get a championship. And on top of that, allegedly, which is, I don't think at this point allegedly, because there was rumors of this over a year ago, right? We've covered this over a year ago, which is that Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell just don't like playing with each other. So, in this situation, right, you have a dynamic point guard in James Harden who can score, he can facilitate. I think we've seen James Harden sort of take a back seat and allow guys to be dominant. And I think in this situation where you have a Donovan Mitchell who at any point can drop 50 and you need to just sort of chip in, I think that this creates a really good scenario for a James Harden who can kind of get downhill, run pick and rolls, be a constant attack, and then have Donovan Mitchell kind of just worry about being a shooting guard instead of playing both roles. I think we've also saw, I don't want to be the body language police, but body language was a big part of this, right? When all of those guys went down in the playoffs, we saw how Donovan Mitchell was, right? We saw the body language of Donovan Mitchell looking like I'm out here by my fucking self, and it's been like that. Even the year before against Boston, like Donovan Mitchell's frustration, in my opinion, hasn't been a secret, and I think Darius Garland, as good as I think he can be at times, he just doesn't show up, and we'll see if being in this role now with a Kawhi Leonard, who's, you know, also a ball dominant kind of player, right? He's going to isolate. And, you know, sometimes you're going to end up just being in the corner, but we'll see if they're able to make this work. Harden is too wishy-washy for me, Jay. He probably wants out of Cleveland after 1 week of seeing whatever Cleveland has to offer, strip clubs included. Listen, man, I think, again, I think Darius Garland is a very good basketball player, but I've also seen him at times put up some really bad stinkers. And again, I've said this before, I can live with a player having a bad shooting night. I can't live with a player, especially one of your two stars, not being aggressive. And there's been, you know, some really crucial times where I think that's happened. You know, James Harden, he's come up small in some of these big games and some of these clutch situations. But I don't think aggression was necessarily a problem in that. And, you know, you pair him up with a Donovan Mitchell who can hit big shots and play big during big games. I don't know. It's definitely better than what they had this season. And you know, oddly enough, I think if they didn't have the year that they had last season, it's very possible that they might have traded or done something with Darius Garland over the summer. But, you know, it's one of those situations. You guys had the #1 seed. You guys were on fire. And you could say at the time it was injuries that really spoiled your playoff run, but they ran it back and it just didn't work out. Oh, shit. Bro. What? You playing? You playing with me, AR? You playing with me, ARW? You playing with me? Did somebody else put that up? Let's see. No, I just peeped. I peeped immediately. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this deal? Who do you guys like this deal for? Let's look at it for the Clippers side. I think. Sorry, bros, I got full. Someone put it up. Yeah, no, I just only be on. Crazy thing to do, Mr. AR. Listen, brother, just stay on Sham's page. You good? Just stay on his page. You'll be all right. I like this deal for. I got NBA Centel clearly, my bro. When it sounds too good. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like this deal for Cleveland, or do you guys like Darius Garland going to the Clippers? What do you guys think? Darius Garland with Kawhi Leonard, with Zubac, and the rest of those guys that they got over there. I think, you know, it's funny because if Darius Garland does the same thing that he's done in Cleveland in some of these situations, Kawhi gonna be tight. Kawhi gonna be tight. And I wonder how they're gonna mesh. You know, if Darius Garland's idea was to be more of a #1 option, to have the ball more, to be that lead guard. Well, it's not gonna happen in LA. So I wonder if a change of scenery is gonna be good enough, because he's essentially gonna have the same role next to a guy that's been really balling this year in Kawhi Leonard, if we're being honest. So it's about the same in terms of defense, right? It's about the same in terms of defense. But offensively, I think James is a lot more proven. And because of size is a lot more dynamic. So really, I really do think that in terms of the players, that Cleveland won this, Darius Garland and a second round pick. So what do you guys think? DG too small. That's why that was my big complaint. Sucks they lost Hoarder, but Keon Ellis and Dennis there, so time will tell. That is the big thing that they got. Now you got Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench with Keon Ellis. Nope, I don't like Harden. He's horrible in the playoffs. Well, do you think he's better than Darius Garland, RC? What do you think? Do you think it's a better option than Darius Garland? And you also have, if James is not having the best night, right? Take him out and let's put Dennis Schroeder out there. You know, if you need a little bit of defense, you know, to relieve a little bit of pressure off of Donovan Mitchell, throw Keon Ellis out there. I think they've given themselves a little bit of flexibility in the guard position. I like this for Cleveland. I like it for Cleveland. I don't know if I love it for LA, but we'll see what happens. There is also a rumor. There's also a rumor now that this could create the perfect scenario for LeBron to go back to Cleveland, which is a whole different thing. LeBron, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, it starts sounding really old. And, you know, it's not like Donovan Mitchell's old, but that's starting to sound a little crazy if you start throwing LeBron in that mix. But let's move right along. The other big piece of news before that was this Jaren Jackson deal. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading star forward Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Niang, and 3 future first-round picks, sources tell ESPN. So, better height and better passer, that is Harden. I agree. I do agree, though. You know, playoff Harden can take in full effect, but I think they can try to mitigate that a little bit now. So what do you guys think, man? Memphis Grizzlies are trading Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Utah Jazz, which now the Jazz have Jaren Jackson Jr. to go along with Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George and Walker Kessler. They have Ace Bailey over there. Didn't Isaiah? I swear Isaiah Collier just had a big game. Hold up. Yeah. See, it was just last night. This guy Isaiah Collier just had 22 assists. So, you know, you're adding more and more talent to a team that already has it. What do you guys think? I need your take on JJJ to Utah. I like this deal for Utah. Listen, man, I've been very... Also, the other part in this, Grizzlies created a massive $28.8 million trade exception in this deal, the largest ever in NBA. That's a lot of fucking money. But I know Jaren Jackson Jr. ain't the best rebounder out there. Listen, I get it. I totally get it. He ain't the biggest rebounder out there. But you got Keontae George, who's been honestly just a bucket. And you have a 7-footer in Lauri Markkanen, and now another 7-footer in Jaren Jackson, who can hit outside shots. You know, especially Lauri Markkanen. We've seen Lauri Markkanen's game grow. He's not settling for threes. He's pump faking, dribbling. He's getting in the lane. He's getting in the mid range. You know, Jaren Jackson Jr. can create a lot of space for these guys, right? Keontae George, who are you going to pick? Are you going to blitz him on the pick and roll when Jaren Jackson is popping for a three? Lauri Markkanen is in the corner. I mean, I think it just adds a weapon that really helps out both Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George when you have a big that can pull the other big away from the rim, so those guys could get to the rim, operate a little bit in the mid-range, and also knock down threes. So I think with what they got going on, I love this trade for Utah. I know there's a lot of people that were saying maybe AJ DeBansta is going to go to the Utah Jazz because of the college that he chose to go to. He's got ties there. I don't know how true that is because of this move. This is more of a let's try to win sooner than later. But they are also 13th in the NBA, so who knows? And, you know, if you tell me that they're going to have Keontae George, Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., Walker Kessler, and then you add a AJ DeBansta in that situation. You have an Ace Bailey in that situation and Isaiah Collier. Well, shit, you got a talented team, right? A lot of talent to the point where you're going to have to start picking and choosing which guys you're going to keep together and create the system. But that's also a good problem to have. So I think, especially in the event that they don't end up getting that first round pick, I think this sets them up for a good future. But if they do, they could look really, really scary in the middle of all this. So I think this trade is really good for Utah. Listen, again, I'm not the biggest Jaren Jackson fan. I do think, you know, these stretch bigs now can really make our offense flow a lot better than a traditional big, and I think they're going to benefit from it. I got a buddy in Utah. He is hyped to get Jaren Jackson Jr., and he says they will have one of the biggest starting lineups ever. Yeah, they are. The acceleration of George this season apparently made the promise of Walter Clayton Jr. expendable. And, you know, I mean, stuff like that happens all the time, right? We, you know, a player come out of nowhere, light the season up, and Keontae has been hooping. This guy has been hooping. So, you know, I think you're, again, creating space for a player like that to be able to score, get in the lane. Lauri Markkanen, the same thing. With defenses that are trying to load up against these guys, right? You know, these guys know Lauri Markkanen can score. Keontae George can score. Naturally, defenses are now trying to load up and help, and this kind of prevents that from happening, right? So the following deal that came after that, we saw Minnesota and Detroit have agreed to a multi-team deal. Mike Conley went to the Bulls. Kevin Huerter, Dario Saric to the Pistons. Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley Jr. to the Bulls. So, you know, Mike Conley's out, and I think, are they going to waive him? No, it's not him that they're going to waive. Listen, man, there's been so many reports as of late that is getting hard to follow everything, but I don't know how Shams does it. But after that, the player that I thought was never going to leave Chicago, who's Vooch, the Chicago Bulls are trading center Nikola Vucevic and a second-round pick to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simons and a second-round pick, sources tell ESPN. So what do we think about this deal? I know the Bulls have, up until they did their other deal, it felt like they had 1 million guards and also at the same time no guards at the same time. It was a weird situation, but I think I like this for Simons. I like this for Simons because I think he's shown some promise, and I would love to see him put everything that he's learned with everything that he's kind of gone through in the last couple of years, and see if he can hit a go button. This is pairing him up with Josh Giddey, who's a do-it-all, triple-double, facilitating big guard. Pair that up with a scoring Anthony Simons, who's had to learn how to be a part of a system, be a part of a team while still being a scoring guard. So I like this. Josh Giddey knows how to play with a Kobe White. Again, Anthony Simons has had to learn how to play with other people, but is gonna get a bigger role in Chicago. In this scenario, I kind of like this for Anthony Simons. Let me see. I don't understand why the Pistons would give up a young talent like Jaden Ivey. What you think about that? And for Kevin Huerter only. It's a good question. Yeah, they got 9 guards. I think once they dwindle it down, though, I think Anthony Simons is gonna end up in a okay spot. How about this? Let's flush out this Boston Bulls deal, and then we'll circle back to Detroit. I think you get a Vooch, and he kind of just flows into the system that Boston is already playing. I admitted the other day, as much as I thought Jayson Tatum was their number one, and I still think he was their number one. I think it was very clear and obvious that Jayson Tatum was the number one option on that team, leading them in every major statistical category. But I do love how the offense looks with Jaylen Brown. He gets off the ball better. He's really grown his game to be extremely efficient. No one can really clown him for not having a left anymore. And you add a Vucevic who can play high pick and roll. He can post up. He could shoot. He could pass. I mean, he fits their system really well. And the funny thing in this deal is, even when Jayson Tatum comes back, I think it fits everything very well, right? Because now you have another player that you can lean on so that Tatum doesn't have to go be vintage Jayson Tatum right away, right? He can kind of work himself back into that spot because you have another player you can go to on offense, along with the fact that Peyton Pritchard has really developed his game. I think the pick and roll with Peyton Pritchard and Vucevic is going to be very good. The Derek White pick and roll with Vucevic is going to be very good. I think this is one of those situations where it's a win-win for both teams, right? It's a win-win for both teams. I wonder if a part of this is Boston expecting Jayson Tatum to return this season, right? I wonder if this I wonder if the Boston Celtics trading away Anthony Simons is a signal that Jayson Tatum is coming back this season, because Jaylen Brown gets to play that, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and now you get to throw Jayson Tatum in the mix, and there's a little bit less stress on those guys. And so now you don't have as much of a need for Anthony Simons. You add a big that can be a little bit of an offensive hub in Vucevic. So I wonder again if this trade is signaling to the Boston Celtics that, hey, we think Jayson Tatum is coming back this year, and we're kind of gearing up to go on a deep playoff run. Because I mean, just call it what it is, man. Vooch is good. Vooch is a really good basketball player. Let me see. Where's... Well, oh shit, I don't think he's gonna be on here anymore. I was just trying to find the Jaden Ivey stats. Because we're gonna circle back to this. So they're trading Jaden Ivey and they're getting Kevin Huerter back and Dario Saric to the Pistons. You know, if Saric can knock down that 3 ball, right? If he can knock down that 3 ball, I think you know, something that Cade kind of needs right now is a little bit more space. And I think this move was sort of to try to do that. Also, they don't have the player swapped yet. Let's see. Wait, what do you mean? Tell me you did not just say Payne Pritchard. Tell me you did not just say that. Why? What's wrong with Payne Pritchard? You don't think the pick and roll with him and Vooch is gonna be cool? Why are you being Caitlin Clark right now, bro? Why are you... Why are we Caitlin Clark in this right now? What the fuck? Where is this? Where? All right, here. Let's see. 16.8 minutes, 45% shooting, 37.2% from 3, 33 games played. Again, I think honestly, RC, when it comes to that particular trade, to this Jaden Ivey, and you're getting Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric, I think it's just to try to create a little bit of space for Cade Cunningham. And you know, they've had a really, really good season. But I would assume, you know, Duncan Robinson has helped. But I would assume that this Pistons team is really feeling the loss of not just Malik Beasley, but Tim Hardaway Jr., right? Those are 2 big shooting threats that they're missing out on. You added Duncan Robinson, which is cool. But they're just missing a little bit of that, the ability to stretch the floor out, create a little bit more space. I think that's all this really is for the Pistons. But yeah, you know, the Reggie Miller compare. Oh, we should pull that up. We gonna get sidetracked, but I gotta pull this up. Let's see. Nah, the face is comedy, bro. The face is hilarious.
View of the young lady to your right. I like Peyton Pritchard from Boston, the way he's able to handle the basketball. He makes big shots when the shot clock's running down, a lot like this young lady right here.
You of the young lady to your right.
I like Peyton Pritchard from Boston, the way he's able to handle the basketball. He makes big shots when the shot clock's running down, a lot like this young lady right here.
You.
Bro, on everything, she's like, if I don't hear Steph Curry, I don't want to hear none of this shit you got talking about over here, motherfucker. Only Steph Curry was the only name she wanted to get brought up. You think Ivy has more upside than any Bulls guard except Giddey and maybe the Sumo? Is that including Anthony Simons now? Does that include Anthony Simons on that list? What do you think about that? Is he included in that list now? Let's hit a refresh again on this dude's page. All right, nothing yet. Let's see, where's this? So that was the deal. Oh, I mean, we might as well wrap it all the way around. With this deal, which is the Chicago Bulls are also trading Kobe White and Mike Conley Jr. to the Charlotte Hornets for Colin Sexton, Ousmane Dieng, and 3 second-round picks, according to Shams. So the duo of Kobe White and Josh Giddey is now over. We now have the Kobe White, Anthony Simons, the Josh Giddey, Anthony Simons duo. And we have Kobe White, who's now, I wonder what role they're going to have for him. It's funny because they've been on such a big winning streak lately. Making a trade in the middle of it is they're all of a sudden 11th. But I do like Kobe White's game. I think he's a real solid player. Let's see if he can help out this Charlotte Hornets team. Although I do think that despite their winning streak that they had, this team is just, I'm at a loss for words for Charlotte. Is it really? 72 on mini. Shit. Good have. No shit. But yeah, I don't know about Kobe White to Charlotte. I mean, I just don't love Charlotte as a destination for any player. So yeah, I would have compared Caitlyn to Steve Nash. I don't think she would have given him the icy cold stare and fake smile. But that's crazy though, right? Like, she was ready to call the police on Reggie. But yo, that's the crazy part. Like, the WNBA and the NBA, there's a partnership. You would think that Reggie, who's been on TV for forever, is aware of this. We're trying to help promote this league. Peyton Pritchard is crazy. And listen, Peyton Pritchard is a very good basketball player, man. That guy is nice, but like, what the fuck? But let's backtrack a little bit because, aside from that deal, there was another big deal. And I think I need some fucking water. Holy shit, you guys. But the other big deal that we had was the Dallas Mavericks are trading 10-time NBA All-Star Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Washington Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malaki Branham, Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-rounders, sources tell ESPN. On top of that, let's read this continuation because there's a couple more tweets here. Dallas is receiving a 2026 Thunder first round pick and a 2030 protected Warriors first round pick in this deal from the Wizards, along with second rounders in 2026 Phoenix, 2027 which is Chicago, and 2029 Houston. So, this is really a deal for the future for Dallas. The Wizards are acquiring future Hall of Fame big man in Davis, one of the top 75 greatest players, to add to their core of Trae Young, Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, and Dallas receives long-term assets and opens significant flexibility to build around Cooper Flagg. The Wizards have completed their deconstruction phase and are now moving towards Young and Davis, leading a rising young core. Washington has turned its previous Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma trades into Young, Davis, and 5 pick swaps. We agreed the Grizzly hate Ja Chat. I don't know. I don't think Anthony Edwards like him either, if you saw that the other day. So let's start with Dallas. I said it in the preseason, right? They look slow. Anthony Davis is slow. And not necessarily that he moves slow. It was really... His play style is more of a half-court game. He wants to get the ball in the mid-post, post up. But he's never been the, I'm going to create offense, right? He's just going to take shots by himself and just kind of go about it that way. Versus Jason Kidd handing the basketball to Cooper Flagg to be the point guard and develop his on-the-ball skills. And we've seen it really work, right? It was a tough start. There was a lot of growing pains for Cooper Flagg. He'd never been in that spot before. But we're seeing the benefits of Jason Kidd doing that. And to be honest, I feel like Anthony Davis in this scenario was kind of getting in the way of the growth of Cooper Flagg. Right? Cooper Flagg is in a spot right now where he needs to gain as much experience as he can while he's young, and having to slow play half court. We're gonna give the ball to Anthony Davis. I'm gonna stand here in a corner, was just stunting his growth. And I think this move, you move D'Angelo Russell, who they weren't playing anyway, Dante Exum, who's been all right, and you're getting back a Chris Middleton, who we've seen him do solid in a supporting role, hit 3 balls, help in clutch situations. I think that's where Chris Middleton is going to come in. I think Marvin Bagley is going to get some good minutes with this team also. But, I think this is, like I said, a trade really for the future of the Dallas Mavericks. And I think that they're coming out, all things considered, pretty good out of it. Jay guy has gone to the liquor store in the corner hat on. Oh, just giving you hell. Yo, this make me that Javante video. He's like, I'm trying to rob some. That's the vibe. AD gonna get injured on the plane ride to Washington. That is that, isn't it? No, that's facts. They better watch out. He gonna come out with a cast. So are either of them playing this year? like truthfully, are Anthony Davis and Trae Young playing this year? So, you know, what Sham said right there, right? Moving towards Young and Davis leading a rising young core. Like, I think Alex Sarr has been good, but I mean they're not even playing right now, so I don't know what to make of this. You know, I think Anthony Davis is a really good player, but he's just not available, and that's just hard to count on right now. But if you want to contend with Cooper Flagg, you're going to have to surround him with better young players, similar to how Utah is trying to surround Markkanen with talented studs. That just sounds crazy, but no next. Honestly, I think they're working on it. I think they're working on it. I think that's why they got rid of Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell. You know, I think they're gonna try to go for a more, at least what I would imagine. For Dallas, you get this big defensive team. You get, you know, you have your Daniel Gafford. Why am I blanking on homeboy's name right now? What's their big guy? What's their big's name? Derek Lively. You know, you get a Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford. We're gonna play defense. We're gonna run. I think Ryan Nembhard is solid. You know, they're Kyrie Irving to kind of be a part of that fold. PJ Washington has been all right. With Cooper Flagg, you're adding Chris Middleton, and I think more importantly, the draft picks. Right, I think that's really kind of what they're banking on, is trying to build in that route. Now, let's follow this up, because I think this is probably very quietly a steal, because the Philadelphia 76ers are trading guard Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a 2026 Rockets first round pick and 3 second round pick. Sources tell ESPN. Lively. Yeah. What do you guys think about this? Y'all know I was high on Jared McCain. I think this guy's good, and I think he showed it. Unfortunate injury, and then on top of the injury, you're coming back to a MVP season by Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe. They've been dealing with this Quentin Grimes situation. I think adding Jared McCain is very strategic for Oklahoma. I've said this since last season, right? The Oklahoma City Thunder have an all-time defensive team. Their offense isn't quite that. They have an all-time offensive player in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but especially with what we've seen with Jalen Williams going out, you know, Chet Holmgren is solid, but I don't think he's developed quite to the game where he can really be that guy. You know, Alex Caruso's coming off the bench. You had a Cason Wallace and a Lou Dort. These really great defensive players. I think sometimes what they're lacking is a little bit of offense. And, you know, in this situation, if they, you know, Jared McCain can come back healthy, I think he can show and provide a little bit of an offensive punch. And by making this trade, you are not disrupting the core that you have. Right? Imagine they would have had to get rid of a Cason Wallace in this situation, or a AJ Mitchell, or someone that's been playing very well for them. Isaiah Joe, someone like that. You know, these guys that have been really, really good for them defensively and, you know, can knock down shots. But I think Jared McCain, with what they saw last season and his ability to score, I'm not going to doubt the way Oklahoma City is able to scout and the way that they're able to gauge talent. And I think this is very under the radar, one of the better deals that we've seen out of this trade deadline. I was not high on him, and you just said it. Much space is there for him. I know you were never high on him, Elijah. I know that. I know that for sure. But again, I think it gives them that option. You know, some of these guys are strictly some of these guys are, like I said. Yo, Church, what's good? What's good, Church? What's what's good? What's good? But again, I think this is very quietly one, in my opinion, as long as Jared McCain is healthy, I think this can very quietly be one of the very good deals that we've seen. He could be a part of that young core over there, and again, adds a little bit of an offensive punch that I think OKC is sometimes lacking. So let's see how this let's see what happens moving forward. Now, the following deal after this is this funny one. The Los Angeles Clippers, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Toronto Raptors have agreed on a multi-team trade, sending Chris Paul to the Raptors and Ochai Agbaji, a 2032 Raptors second rounder, and cash to the Nets. So, and on top of that, the Raptors will not require Chris Paul to report to the team and could still discuss trades involving him over the next day. Toronto is now out of the tax, out of the luxury tax. Brooklyn picks up an asset and cash to cover Agbaji's salary. The Clippers clear a roster spot and save $7 million in tax. So, you know, along with these deals to try to get better, you see a lot of teams trying to just get a little bit of money off their books. I wish it were that simple, but you know, for us, but you know, this is one of the things that they're doing. I think the funny thing is that they're not requiring Chris Paul to report to that team. So we'll see what happens, man. Legend and Chris Paul, obviously not the way you want to go out, but you know, let's move right along. So the next deal after that, the Cleveland Cavaliers have agreed to trade Lonzo Ball and 2 second-round picks to the Utah Jazz, sources tell ESPN. Ball's agent, Rich Paul, the Jazz are expected to discuss his future soon. And the follow-up to this is the Jazz are expected to waive Lonzo Ball, allowing him to be a free agent, sources tell ESPN. But the big thing in this, right? Not only did the Utah Jazz get better with a player today, right, and Jaren Jackson Jr., who can help their team, they're also getting 2 second-round picks. So again, Utah constantly trying to build to the future. But again, it leaves Lonzo Ball, who's obviously hasn't been healthy. We'll see what happens with him, man. We'll see what happens with him. I don't know if he's going to get picked up, if I'm being 100% honest. Let's see what else. There's another deal here. The Atlanta Hawks are also acquiring center Jock Landale from the Utah Jazz for cash considerations. Essentially a 3-team trade that allows Jazz to pick up 2 second rounds, the Hawks to land a productive center in Landale, and the Cavaliers to shed significant salary and sack savings while bringing in James Harden, Keon Ellis, and Dennis Schroeder to fortify their roster. So a lot of layers to these deals going on, man. A lot of layers to these deals going on. And dog, I feel like I've been talking for 3 hours. Wow. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the trade deadline so far? Who are we looking for to get traded by tomorrow? Now, I'll start naming some names. Let me know who you guys think will get traded by tomorrow. We have Giannis. We have anyone from the Sacramento Kings. Quite literally, everyone on the Sacramento Kings, I think, are available. So, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Sacramento Kings. Are there any other big deals that we've been waiting on? God damn it! I wish the New York Knicks would trade motherfucking Karl Anthony Towns. Man, like, what are we doing? Let me see. Are there under any other potential big trades? Ja, is anything gonna happen to Ja Morant? Jonathan Kuminga, is anything gonna happen to Jonathan Kuminga? So, you know, we've got there's a lot there's a lot to consider right now. I wonder if we have more names popping up by tomorrow or even later tonight. With the trade deadline, man, it's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. You know, the amount of turnover that we got in the league. Constantly players in different jerseys. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think is going to be traded by tomorrow? All right. All right. Let's move right along. I do want to cover some of these games because there's something here that I think is very, very important. And I wanted to start with this game between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics, where the Boston Celtics won 110-100. And any young hooper out there, I think y'all need to see this and, excuse me, I think y'all got to see this and really, bro, do you know your Knicks are playing Denver right now? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I have it on the side. Yeah, I do have it on the side. And it's close right now too. I know. But again, I think this is important, man. I think this is important for any young hooper out there that's trying to get better. And when you're training, right? When you're training, there's a lot of stuff that they tell you that I think some players don't fully understand, right? And one of those is play game speed. Now, what I'm gonna show you guys here is Jaylen Brown in pregame against the Dallas Mavericks. Actually, where was it over here? Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Nah, it was earlier over here. This what not only is he playing at his pace, which is really important, right? It doesn't look like he's going game speed, but I promise you guys, when you guys watch him play, it looks, this is close to game speed for Jaylen Brown. But what I want you guys to see is the trainer. Look at the trainer and the way the trainer is defending Jaylen Brown. Look at how handsy, pause, the trainer is with Jaylen Brown, preparing him for the type of defense that he can expect to see, constantly leaning on that offhand, grabbing it, trying to move it, forcing Jaylen Brown to work his way around it, whether he's going to push off of it, he's going to go under and hook it, whatever that move is, he's always leaning on him, putting a hand on him. And I think to any young hooper out there, if you're going to train, you know, the what is it, the fucking, all of those little tools are cool. Being able to practice things like this go a really, really long way. So I think it'll be, I think that's something to take away. And we're going to look at these buckets from Jaylen Brown just to see how he's able to, you know, use this training, put this training to use. Giannis, Kuminga won't be anyone else possible. Elijah Martin clip. What Elijah Martin clip? You got a clip? You got a clip? Put it in the chat. The thing about this is I feel like Ja won't be traded, and I feel like out of spite, the Warriors will not trade Kuminga. But again, let's take a look at this right here. They're in transition. Jaylen Brown has the ball. You know, Najee Marshall. Again, Jaylen Brown is playing at his pace. Look at how handsy players are. Look, immediately hands.
Different than what we've seen from Joe Mazzulla's teams in the last couple of years.
So, you know, those things that he practices and trains are really the things that he sees in the game. And I think that that's huge, right? I think that that's huge. So any young hooper out there, whenever you're training, make sure you're training whoever's defending you, even if they're not necessarily playing the hardest defense, because the idea is you're trying to get into these, you know. Oh, I thought you were talking about it. You're talking about Jen. Oh, I see. But, you know, a lot of young hoopers, if you're going to train, you have to train these aspects. Like that trainer wasn't necessarily going super hard on defense, right? The idea of that was to warm up and you're getting into your moves. But one thing that we can simulate, even though I'm not playing super hard defense, so you can get into your pocket and get into your shots, we can simulate hand checking, me going into your offhand. So you're forced to figure out, okay, I'm dribbling right, I'm gonna go left, he's pinning my arm down, how am I gonna get this to be able to rise up and still shoot, right? Playing through that contact. You know, I think some people assume that the contact is only at the rim trying to go for layups or whatnot, but the hand game in basketball is probably more important than it's ever been, right? Trying to time it. You see players all the time. Kyrie Irving is pushing people's hands off. You know, it's kind of like the lead foot in boxing or in combat sports, right? That hand fight is becoming a really important thing in the game. And you see Jaylen Brown, whose offensive game is so smooth, right? He almost just rolls off contact. You know, anytime players try to do anything, he's able to just, you know, take that contact, go through it, go around it. And a part of it, you could tell, is it's through that training, right? It's very intentional in the way that he approaches. And I think that that's very, very obvious. Now, I wanted to pull this up also because we were talking about Cooper Flagg being a point guard, and Jason Kidd had a lot to say.
Coach, you got a lot of national criticism for playing Flagg at point guard. Over the last 2 games, he's been on the ball.
Criticism, that's your opinion. You guys write that bullshit. That's not, I've done this. I played this game. I played it at a very high level. I know what the fuck I'm doing. But I don't give a fuck what you guys write. Because you guys have never played the game. And so I build players. So I know what the fuck I'm doing. So to take criticism, it only makes me better. Because if I wasn't doing it right, you guys wouldn't be poking holes in what I've done.
Even after.
And I could understand where Jason Kidd is coming from, because let's be honest, that was a criticism in week fucking 1 when, you know, he made this decision and this was a thing. I think it's very obvious at this point, right? Cooper Flagg is a very good NBA player. And a lot of the things that we thought he was going to be, he is. And what Jason Kidd did was accelerate that, right? He accelerated him. He put this motherfucker in the hyperbolic time chamber. And he said, we gonna speed up this process. We don't have time to, you know, we're gonna develop you over the course of 3 years. No, you're gonna learn everything in the first 3 months. That's why they're, 50 games in at this point. It's no surprise to me that it's at this point when Cooper Flagg is putting up the 49, the 36, the 32s. It's because he's got to practice under these conditions, and he's got to see this, right? That 50, that 49 ball wasn't because he surprised the team. It wasn't because he caught a team by surprise, right? Teams know what's coming. And, you know, I think when it comes to this situation, like, Cooper Flagg has done an unbelievable job of growing his game, but really developing, right? I think we're seeing his physicality is adjusting, and it's converting. His shot is applying and it's converting. You know, he's getting his layups. He's doing everything right, to be honest with you. And I think Jason Kidd is a big part of that. And, you know, we'll see what happens to this team moving forward, but I think this guy is really good, man. And, you know, a lot of people are talking about, oh, they're on a 3-game losing streak. They're on a 3-game losing streak, blah, 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 blah. But all I'm seeing is he's about to win Rookie of the Year. So, you know, let's see what happens moving forward when it comes to that. But let's see. Yeah, it's a good fucking game on MSG. No shit. It's a great game. It's a great game. It's a great game on right now. It's a great game on right now. Man, 10:47 left in this game, 90-87. What do you guys think? What do you guys think my New York Knicks should do? If you guys are being 100% honest when it comes to this trade deadline, what do you think you guys would do? Man, I was on the phone with my dad earlier. I was saying, hell, I'd damn near rather have Jaren Jackson Jr. at this point than Karl Anthony Towns. I'm being so honest. I totally get that. Jaren Jackson Jr. is not the rebounder that Karl Anthony Towns could be. But my God, I'm looking at Cat with how good he is. I'm expecting so much more out of him. And to see him averaging 19 a game on like 46% shooting as a 7-foot-tall big man, he's shooting 35% from 3. It's bad, and I know we're on a 7-game winning streak right now. I think it's because we got a lot of talent on this team. We got a lot of talent, but at the same time, man, like if Cat is not able to be dominant, it just makes it really hard on this team. And you know, I think we have enough talent to where we can beat any team on any given night. But you know, we're talking about 7-game series once the playoffs come around, and will we be able to beat these teams game in and game out? Like the Detroit Pistons, to Stephen A's point, they're looking for us. they're looking for us. Cade Cunningham is different this year. And if Karl Anthony Towns is not the guy that can go get 40 and 15, I don't know. I don't know how much we have. I get OG Anunoby's been great. Mikal Bridges has been really good for us at times. Yeah, I think he does carry a lot of weight for this team, to be 100% honest. Mitchell Robinson has been really good in stretches. You know, we've had a lot of guys be good in stretches, but again, I think we got to make a shift, man. Jalen Brunson's good years are being wasted, unfortunately, by Karl Anthony Towns. I don't know, man. I think I'd probably make a deal. No, I really do. Let's hit a refresh on. Let's hit a refresh on Twitter. All right. Well, there is. Let me see. There's. I don't think there's anything left. So, here's the deal. Here's what we're gonna do, man. Trade deadline is tomorrow, so everything's gonna shake out tomorrow. I'll give you guys the rest of my reaction with any other deal that happens on Friday. Like I said earlier, we're gonna start doing live streams on Friday from 6 p.m. Eastern to roughly 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be to 6 to 7/6 to 8. It'll be roughly around the time. So we're gonna be doing live streams from Saturdays. From Fridays. I'm now on exclusively on Fridays. Again, we're making a little bit of a shift to the channel. Just a little bit of a shift, but we're not stopping live streams. We're gonna keep hanging out. Honestly, I think it's gonna be cool. We're gonna get a good vibe on Fridays. We're not gonna try to do this structured show. We're gonna do essentially kind of what we did today. We're just gonna chill, react to games, react to all the news that's been going on all week. And that's starting literally Friday. So we're gonna do that starting Friday. But again, I thank you guys so much for hanging out as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please leave a like on this video if you like this content or any more content like this. But yeah, man, we're gonna do that moving forward. I appreciate y'all so much. I'll see you guys back here on Friday. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all here later. You have a great rest of y'all night. You have a great Thursday. Have a great trade deadline.